Shalom, 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 shalom. Before we start off, I want to give all praise, honor, infinite glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Makai, Kodash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Bluestone and Ruwa that teach what tells us truth, and the holy shalom to all the ark and knock up to me. Shalom, shalom. All right, so we're going to get straight into the lesson. Lord willing, this lesson is edifying. Let's go.
Killed during a shooting at Florida State University, and she's alleging that ChatGPT, which we know that the man did use ChatGPT to help understand how to kill, murder in this scenario. Do we think that she has a case here?
It's going to be interesting to determine how OpenAI is going to defend itself. What the widow is saying is that they were able to use, exactly as you said, the query system in order to learn how to shoot a weapon, the best time to use it, how to get the most media exposure, and when to do it. What OpenAI is pushing back currently is saying, look, the information that this individual is able to receive is already out there on the internet. What will be key is what they're saying, they already have guardrails and measures in place. So when people do ask ChatGPT these queries about weapons, about assaults, that the guardrails are in place to kick it to a human, which would then take it over there and then alert authorities and offer resources for the individuals who are looking into it. They do have a point to be made, though, because of the fact that, if you remember, Lindsay, there's a time and you were able to look up how to make 3D guns,
sure,
right? And so these things are already on the internet. So ChatGPT and other generative AI products are not creating things that
they're
are already
consolidating it, perhaps.
Yeah.
But the lawyers are calling ChatGPT a co-conspirator, which is really interesting. You have the widow of a man who was killed during a shooting at Florida State University.
All right, so the first precept I'm gonna grab tonight is all right, this is 2 Corinthians chapter 2 and 11. It says, lest Satan should get advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. All right, so we know that, the MOTB, the mark of the beast, the Neuralink, we know that these different devices such as phones, the internet, laptops, robodogs, drones, all these different artillery can be used for righteousness or for wickedness, and the scripture says, man, that, the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. So many of these different things that you see, Esau Edom, he uses it for wickedness, man, cameras, surveillance, it can be used for righteousness. So you could say, oh yeah, I keep an eye on my kids, or, it helps me to keep an eye on my stuff at home, whatever. But cameras can be used for wickedness also. It could be invasion of privacy. It could be used to, keep track of you. It's many different ways that things could be used. Okay, just like ChatGPT and different technology, Esau Edom, he can use it for wickedness or for righteousness. All right, but we know that it's all a part of Satan's devices. Let's get this.
Mr. President, to what extent are Americans' financial situations motivating you to make a deal?
Not even a little bit. The only thing that matters when I'm talking about Iran, they can't have a nuclear weapon. I don't think about Americans' financial situation. I don't think about anybody. I think about one thing. We cannot let Iran have a nuclear weapon. That's all.
All right, so this man don't give a damn about your gas prices. He don't give a damn about, your groceries. He doesn't give a damn about your bills, your rent. Okay, you just heard it, man. This devil only cares about what Iran is doing. Okay, let me see if I can grab this scripture. All right, this is Matthew 15 and 14. Let them alone. They be blind leaders of the blind. And if the blind lead the blind, both shall fall into a ditch. So this is the American's president, man. Okay. It's another scripture that says, the same way the king is, so is the people, man. All right, you can clearly see Trump is gone, man. He don't care about you know, the civilians. He don't care about you Americans. All he care about is what the hell they doing over there in the Middle East. All right. So you're gonna see things heat up even more. Let's keep going.
Apple is urging iPhone and iPad users to update its newest operating systems to get it to that very latest one in order to keep their devices safe. The company now says the 26.5 versions address a lengthy list of security flaws. Experts say hackers are making use of artificial intelligence to find new ways to attack phones and tablets. So look for that update. More news when we come back. Apple is urging iPhone.
Again, don't be ignorant of Satan devices. Okay, like I said, these iPhones, they could be used for, you know, to call your family, reach out to certain people, but it can also be used, like I said, for tracking. All right, right now they're telling you, oh yeah, it's so you don't get hacked or so, nothing bad happens. But in reality, a lot of times they only want this to happen, so you could go update it and they can have that hard drive on your phone, your computers, different things like that. Let's continue.
The federal gas tax is a great idea, and Republican lawmakers immediately took him up on it after that, introducing bills in the House and Senate with a vote to come as early as next week. This move does have bipartisan support, but there are trade-offs.
With oil prices on the rise again as negotiations falter, President Trump is ready to tap the brakes on the gas tax. In a phone interview, Trump told me, quote, "We're going to take off the gas tax for a period of time. And when gas goes down, we'll let it phase back in."
I think the president is 100% right.
Within hours, Missouri Republican Josh Hawley introduced a Senate bill that would pause the 18-cent per gallon federal gas tax for 3 months, with the option to extend the pause another 3 months. Arizona Democratic Senator Mark Kelly introduced a similar bill a couple months ago.
People are having a hard time driving to work because they can't afford gas.
We asked drivers if they think a gas tax holiday does enough.
The more it decreases, the better.
If gas is $4.45 a gallon and you knock off 18 cents, that's less than 5%. So the answer is no.
The gas tax is used to fund road repairs and construction. When former President Joe Biden pitched his own 3-month pause on the tax post-COVID, the conservative Heritage Foundation called the move a gimmick that would blow a multi-billion-dollar hole in the federal highway trust fund. Even now, the top Republican in the Senate, John Thune, says the best way to meaningfully bring down gas prices is to reopen the Strait of Hormuz. But Trump rejected Iran's latest offer this weekend. He told me it was a, quote, very stupid proposal, badly written, badly delivered.
After reading that piece of garbage they sent us, I didn't even finish reading it. They said, I'm not going to waste my time reading it.
President Trump departs today for China, where he's going to sit down with President Xi Jinping. Now, China is Iran's #1 oil customer, but gas prices in China are only up about 20% since the war started, compared to 50% here, because the government there controls the price. President Trump told me he thinks suspending the federal gas tax is a great idea, and Republican lawmakers immediately took him up on it after that, introducing bills in the House and Senate with a vote to come as early as next week. This move does have bipartisan support, but there are trade-offs.
With oil prices on the rise again as negotiations falter, President Trump is ready to tap the brakes on the gas tax. In a
All right, so you can clearly see things playing out. All right, let's get to scripture. All right, so this is Matthew 24:3. As he sat upon the Mount of Olives, the disciples came unto him privately, saying, Tell us, when shall these things be? And when shall the sign be the sign of thy coming in the end of this world? Okay, so you can clearly see some of these are the signs. All right, let me see. All right, this is Matthew 16:3. In the morning it will be foul weather today, for the sky is red and lowering. Oh, ye hypocrites, you can discern the face of the sky, but you cannot discern the signs of the times. All right, so people, they can see all the stuff that's happening, but they can't see, that this is the end. That society is only going to get worse from here. The gas price is going to get more expensive. Bills are going to get more expensive. Scripture says the love of many shall wax cold. Why is that? Because this economy is going to basically just crumble. All right, and a lot of people, they're not ready for that. All right.
Telling us that a person in Winnebago County may have this virus. Now, it is believed that person got the virus while cleaning a home where rodent droppings were present, and it is of the strain that is most commonly found in North America, not the strain that is linked to the cruise ship known as the Andes strain, which is usually found in South America. Doctors telling us this version of hantavirus is not spread from person to person and that the risk of contracting it is remaining low. Again, this is a possible case. The CDC currently conducting additional testing to confirm the Illinois resident does have this virus, and that process could be taking up to 10 days. And since tracking of hantavirus cases began in 1993, Illinois has had 7 positive cases with 890 cases counted nationwide. The Illinois Department of Public Health will not describe the condition of the person who may have this virus. And we're continuing to work the story, and we'll bring you updates just as soon as we get them. For now, right back to you down in the...
All right, well, a little while ago, they had the C19. Before that, it was the Zuki or whatever. Every 6 years, they bring out some type of virus or sickness, okay? But now, we know according to scriptures, this is a pestilence, all right? This is something that the Lord is releasing, all right, to judge the people. All right, let's get the scripture on that. Salakia. All right, so we're going to skip to a second address. All right, chapter 15 and 49. I will send plagues upon the widowhood, poverty, famine, sword, and pestilence. Okay, those diseases, sicknesses. To waste thy houses with destruction and death. All right, Luke 21:11. And great earthquakes should be in diverse places. That's what's happening. Famines, that's happening. And pestilences and fearful sights and great signs shall there be from heaven. That's what we're seeing, man. All right, so more judgment is coming to the earth.
Sued in the US by the Texas Attorney General for allegedly spying on children and other consumers and designing the service to allegedly be addictive. The suit claims the streaming giant uses dark patterns to promote binge watching and also collecting data without user consent and selling it to advertisers for profit. Netflix has denied the claims. Netflix is being sued in the US by the Texas Attorney General for allegedly spying on children and other consumers and designing the...
All this technology is spying, okay? Not just Netflix, not just, your TV, your phone. All this technology is spying. Okay, all this technology is being used to monitor you, surveillance you, collect data, okay? That's the whole reason what Esau Edom do behind the scene. He promotes that type of society, that digital society, where everything is ran, with surveillance.
How hot the Iran war is driving up prices here. This is a significant jump here, 3.8%. Remember, the Federal Reserve thinks 2% is the sweet spot for inflation. 3.8% shows you how those higher energy prices are fueling in to just about everything overall here. And it's not just the energy prices. It is gas prices, those higher energy prices starting to feed through everything. I mean, I'm looking at airfares up almost 21% over the past year. 3.8% just shows you how hot the Iran war is driving up prices here. This is a significant jump here. 3.8%. Remember,
new numbers from the Pentagon show the cost of the war is now at $29 billion. That's up more than $4 billion from just 2 weeks ago. Meanwhile, the month-old ceasefire between the U.S. and Iran is still technically in effect, but President Donald Trump says it remains in a perilous state, calling it on, quote, massive life support. Since the ceasefire began, both Iran and U.S. forces have exchanged fire in the Strait of Hormuz. Iranian state media now reports that Tehran has asserted sovereignty over the strait. It has effectively been closed here for about 10 weeks, disrupting a major share of the global oil exports.
No doubt. After President Trump rejected the latest proposal to end the war, now oil prices began rising again.
Yeah, there is a growing push in Washington, however, to suspend the federal gas tax to provide...
All right, let's get Zephaniah 1. All right. Salakia. Zephaniah 1. Zephaniah 1 and 14, it says, the great day of the Lord is near. It is near and hasteth greatly. Even the voice of the day of the Lord, the mighty man shall cry there bitterly. That day is a day of wrath, a day of trouble, a day in distress, a day of wasteness and desolation, a day of darkness and gloominess, a day of clouds and thick darkness, a day of the trumpet and alarm against the fenced cities, against the high towers. And I will bring distress upon men, that they shall walk like blind men. A lot of people think they're in a good case. They're not going to know what to do very soon, because they have sinned against the Lord. Their blood should be poured out as dung, and their flesh is, it should be poured out as dust, and their flesh as the dawn. Neither their silver nor their gold shall be able to deliver them in the day of the Lord's wrath, but the whole land shall be devoured by the fire of his jealousy, for he should make even a speedy riddance of the land, of all them that dwell in the land. So basically, the Lord's going to destroy this place, man. All right, and you seeing him doing it right now through the economy.
Will reach some American businesses' bank accounts on Tuesday, according to U.S. Customs and Border Protection. The government launched an online portal last month where companies can file to get money back for tariffs they paid after the Supreme Court ruled that major components of President Trump's tariff policies are ruled illegal. More than 330,000 importers paid tariffs totaling $166 billion. But while the money will start flowing to businesses, consumers should not expect to see direct refunds. Many companies have said that they'll use the refunds from the government to pay down debt, rehire employees, restock inventory, or perhaps lower prices. The first wave of tariff refunds will reach some American businesses.
Video captured the terrifying moment a gunman this afternoon aimed his weapon at passing cars on a major highway in Cambridge, Massachusetts, before opening fire seemingly at random.
We have active shots being fired.
The gunman can be seen here walking down the middle of the road and swinging what appears to be a semi-automatic weapon wildly. At one point, his weapon appears to jam.
Emerging, he had a large rifle, the automatic weapon.
All right, so the spirits of vengeance, the love of many waxing cold. That's where we at, man. All right, it's only gonna heat up. It's only gonna go up from here. They shut him down. Oh man, that's why we gotta get out of here, man. All right, Lord willing.
And I think the Supreme Court.
You think they would reinstitute Jim Crow?
Absolutely. And I think the Supreme Court is well on the way to doing that.
I ain't no fuss. I'm just here trying to register to vote. Recite the Constitution's preamble. You know what a preamble is? We the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union. How many county judges in Alabama? 67. Name them.
right? People think of Jim Crow, people are thinking, oh, separate water fountains, separate schools. No, the heart of Jim Crow was the ballots, right? Our people fought, they bled, and they died to literally have and force America to put legal protection behind freedom. So when people think of Jim Crow and they don't understand the necessity behind voting, they're literally telling you that whoever votes and gets put into these seats, they control where you live, what schools you go to, who polices you, who sentences you, right? We're talking about over sentencing Black and brown communities, who sentences you, right? And who gets to represent you. So I need people to understand that this is more than just, oh, they're ruining our rights. No, this was exactly what America have been doing, except they've been doing it on the low and now it's on the front end. And people need to wake up. Are you mad enough? Are you angry enough? Are you hurt enough to be on the right?
It's heating up, man. All right, race wars, gang wars, civil wars is coming. All right, let's get the scripture. All right. So this is Luke chapter 12 and 49. I'm coming to some fire on the earth. What will I if I be already kindled, right? This society is already destroyed. It's already burning up. It's already going down the toilet, man. All right, this place is getting flushed down. It says, but I have a baptism to be baptized with. And how am I straight until it be accomplished? Suppose ye that I come to give peace on earth, I tell you, nay, but rather division. For from henceforth there should be 5 in one house divided, 3 against 2 and 2 against 3. So that's what's happening, man. All right, a great division is happening between Babylon the Great. All right, and this society is disgusting, man. It's just gross. All right.
It's no longer worth it for them because right now, dating in the United States of America has gotten so expensive that nearly half of those who are single right now just have stopped dating. It's no longer worth it for them because right now, on average, singles are spending $189 for.
And they said by 2030, half of these women won't be able to have a man. All right, half of these women are going to be single by 2030. You can see it's already happening. All right.
Look, I have a great relationship with President Xi. We're doing a lot of business, but it's smart business. We used to be taken advantage of for years with our previous presidents, and now we're doing great with China. We make a lot of money with China. I have a great relationship with President Xi, and I think you can see that with the fact that in Hormuz, they get a big percentage, 40% of their oil from Hormuz. There's been no ships coming in, no nasty ships coming in that we end up in skirmishes with. He'd like to see it get done. He doesn't want to see, I'll tell you what, look, I respect him a lot, and hopefully he respects me.
This place gotta go, man.
Citizens of the United States.
15 of the passengers on the cruise ship that was hit by hantavirus are here in this building. They are staying at the National Quarantine Unit here at the University of Nebraska Medical Center, and they're going to be assessed to determine if they have any symptoms, if they have maybe been in contact with someone who has tested positive, and sort of go through an individualized monitoring for each person to determine their risk and see how they're doing. Now, the medical staff here described the unit as hotel rooms with negative pressure and an elite ventilation system.
With the National Quarantine Unit and the Biocontainment Unit, our teams are evaluating these patients in these more specialized hotel room-like areas for the quarantine unit to really make sure that we understand their risk of.
Bloomberg is reporting that Trump's visit to China is set to go way better than expected after the U.S. revealed that they will likely make this insane deal with Beijing. The White House spokesperson has confirmed that after months of negotiations and prep, Trump will seal one of the largest deals of his presidency. During the meeting with the Chinese president, this deal will cover 3 major categories. First, the U.S. is seeking China's help in finally ending both the Iran war and the Russia-Ukraine war, potentially through limits on weapon sales or increased diplomatic pressure on the countries involved. Second, and one of the more surprising announcements, China and the U.S. will explore future cooperation on artificial intelligence as increasingly more powerful models raise safety concerns for both countries. And finally, the entire point of this trip was for Trump to make the trade deal of the decade that can not only secure Chinese purchases of major U.S. exports like airplanes and soybeans, but also for the first time ever form a joint trade and investment board to balance out trade and end the ongoing trade war. Bloomberg is reporting that Trump's visit to China is set to go way better than expected after
Lord willing, this lesson was edifying. I want to give all praise, honor, infinite glory to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahushai, Bahashim, Mokah, Kodash. Double honors to the elders and apostles, the great millstone, rule what I teach, what I tell us is truth. The hearty shalom to all the Akim, Akal, Shalom.